The economy grew, your slice shrank. For 5 straight years, politicians told you the economy was growing. And they weren't lying. The numbers were real. Here's the problem. The economy got bigger, and your share of it got smaller. At the same time, and once you see how the trick works, you can never unsee it. And you can actually build around it. GDP measures one thing, the total size of the economy. Every dollar spent, every product made, all of it added into one big number. And big numbers make great headlines. But you don't live in the total. You live in your slice. That's what GDP per capita measures. The size of the economy divided by the number of people in it. Not a perfect stat, but it answers a much more honest question. Is the average person actually better off? And here's where Canada's last decade gets uncomfortable. The total GDP went up. GDP per capita went down for years. From 2014 to 2024, real GDP per person grew about 3% total. The average over that same stretch was 15. The pie grew, but it was being cut into more and more slices faster than it was growing. That's why the official numbers never matched how things actually felt. Mortgage renewals that hurt, rent jumping, groceries doing whatever groceries were doing. You weren't imagining it, and you weren't bad with money. You were just being shown the wrong number. The lesson isn't Canada's bad, it's bigger than Canada. Headline numbers describe the system, per person numbers describe your life. Learn to ask for what every time someone shows you a big number, and you become a very hard person to fool. Now here's where it gets interesting. How did the total keep growing while the average person fell behind? It wasn't an accident. 2 levers got pulled, and the second one almost nobody noticed until it was already over. Lever 1 was cheap money. During the pandemic, interest rates went to zero, well basically zero, and hundreds of billions of newly created dollars flowed into the system. Businesses borrowed, people spent, asset prices took off, GDP climbed. It looked like growth because technically it was. Growth brought on by credit. The side effect on the schedule, the worst inflation in 40 years, peaking above 8%, followed by the fastest rate hikes in modern Canadian history. That should have been the moment the economy visibly slowed. It didn't, because lever 2 was already moving. Lever 2, more people. Right as the cheap money dried up, immigration policy opened up dramatically. International students, temporary workers, and the population grew at a pace not seen in a century. At the peak, over 1 million people added in a single year. Now, every new person in an economy is real economic activity. Wages earned, rent paid, groceries bought, tax collected. That's not a criticism of a single human being who came here to build a life. It's just arithmetic, and 1 million people add to the GDP rise almost automatically, whether or not the underlying economy is actually getting healthier per person. So the headline number stayed strong, politicians pointed at it, and your slice kept shrinking the whole time. It's like a bar bragging the beer sales doubled. Sales did double. They also let in 3 times as many people. Everyone's sharing pitchers, and your glass is half the size. Total beer, record high. Your beer, gone. That's the kind of thing we do full time over at TheJustOneMore. Different topics, same energy. And here's the part that matters for your wallet. Both levers are now off. Money printing done. Population surge, not just reversed. In early 2026, Stats Canada confirmed population is actually shrinking. Its first annual decline since 1867, the year the country was founded. 2 straight quarters of shrinking as temporary residents left about as fast as they arrived. which means for the first time in years, we're seeing the economy without the makeup on. That's recession in the headlines. Less the brand new crisis, more an old reality finally showing up in the data. The replacement plan, massive government spending, infrastructure, defense, housing, funded by a federal debt now approaching $1.3 trillion. And here's the line that should stop you cold. This year, for the first time, the government will spend more just on the interest on that debt, around $59 billion, than it spends on every province's combined health care. We are now paying more for the past than for the doctors. If the spending creates real productivity, great, everyone wins. If it doesn't, history says governments reach for the quiet exit. Let inflation slowly shrink the debt, and inflation is a tax that hits the hardest for people who don't own any assets, or very few. I'll be honest, for years I tracked my own finances the same way governments track GDP. Totals. Income up, good year. Then started measuring per person, per hour, per unit of my actual life, and realized some of my own growth was the same trick. More hours, more stress, more slices, bigger pie, smaller life. Fixing that changed more than any budget ever did. The Wealth Architect Playbook. So what do you do with this? 3 moves. And notice they work in both futures, the growth one and the inflation one. Own things. Don't just hold dollars. Broad, boring, diversified assets participate in growth and survive currency erosion. Cash is a tool, not a vault. Shelter what you own. If debt servicing keeps climbing, taxes tend to follow. Registered accounts, TFSAs, RRSPs, and friends are the closest thing to free money the system offers. Use your room before anything fancy. Build the assets that can't inflate. Skills, reputation, networks, the ability to make things people want. Inflation can debase a dollar. It cannot debase the fact that you're useful. That's the most inflation-proof asset class there is, and it's the core of everything we build on this channel. The government measures the whole pie because the whole pie makes them look good. You should measure your slice, because your slice is the only part you actually get to eat. None of this is financial advice. It's a lens. But if it sharpened how you read the next "economy is booming" headline, subscribe. Next video, I'm handing you the exact numbers to watch instead of GDP, the per person dashboard for your own life. It's a free one-pager. Links below.